DJ Irvin C.
Hi folks, my name is DJ Irvin C from Leuven, Belgium. I'm going to show you how to convert your whole music collection to another format. I'm using WMA Lossless for a very long time already, maybe 15 or 20 years. I ripped all my CD collection and all files I purchased from Beatport and others. I convert them to WMA Lossless. So the problem is that since a year or so, 268 from Traktor was working perfectly fine with WMA Lossless, but since they changed their audio engine, it's one problem after the other with their quality, and it's not only in WMA Lossless, also Flac had their issues and Apple Alac files. So, but anyway, now that we got Windows 10 and native Flac support in Windows 10, I think it's about time to change to Flac. It's a big deal changing your whole collection. It's not something you do on 1, 2, 3, so that's why this tutorial is for. And I prefer open standards because that will give you more support in a long time. Well, that's my opinion anyway. So, what are we gonna do? I have a music collection, about 17,000 music files, and in WMA Lossless, a couple of MP3 files and M4A files in them, but that's like 10 or so. And I want to convert everything what's to Flac, but I want to keep my data, all my tagging, all my cue points and stuff. And that's however, some kind of an issue. Okay, there are several steps involved to migrate your collection, and of course the first one is to convert the files themselves. How are we going to do that? There are many tools for it. I use Goldwave because I'm using that for many years. It's a tool, it's an editor to edit WAV files, music files, in a very detailed way and manipulate them rawly. So it's not like Ableton Live, which is not really an editor for music files. More of a bit like, I think Audition is one maybe, or I'm thinking about the one I used to use a long time ago, but I didn't buy it anymore because it was very expensive. And that's SoundForge. I think it's from Sony currently. But Goldwave is as good, and I believe it's $60 or $70. So it's a good thing to buy it if you don't have it already. It's not only a converter; it does everything. So it's to cut files, paste them together, anything. Okay, but we're gonna use only the converter here. So you open Goldwave, go to Batch Processing. There's a batch processor where you can do stuff with 10,000 files in one time without looking to it. So in batch processing, you first need to declare your source. So I will show you in Explorer that I have prepared a small collection, the convert collection samples with 2 folders in it with a couple of files in them. Of course, in reality, you're going to have thousands and 10,000 of files. So, but that's no issue. It will just take longer. So how are we going to do that? We go back to source in Goldwave, files and folders. We're going to pick add folder, and here you're going to pick the folder, the root folder of your music collection, which is the iMusic convert collection samples for me. So I just select it. Because I have a couple of other types in my collection, I'm going to make sure I only convert the WMA files. So at file type, I will pick WMA. I'm 100% sure there are only lossless WMA files in there. It's pointless to convert WMA lossy files because they exist too, to a lossless format. That's completely pointless. Even converting from lossy to lossy is pointless because you will lose data. So never do that unless you have no other choice. But in my case, we're going from lossless to lossless. There's absolutely no loss in audio quality at all, because that's why it's called lossless. Remind that a WAV file or an AIFF file is not really a lossless file, because for the simple reason there is no compression in it. So, and lossless is the denomination for the compression type that is used. But we agree, and I agree, that from mouth to mouth we just say lossless to anything that has no loss in their audio quality, like WAV and AIFF. But you can also use this converter to convert from AIFF to Flac or from WAV to Flac, which is a good idea because you're going to save a lot of space. You need to include all folders in the screen, don't forget that, so otherwise it will only pick the root. So we click OK, it will add automatically all folders and subfolders that are in there. Move on to process. We are not going to process the files in the sense that we're going to change or manipulate the volume or add effects or cut them or whatever. This is something functionality from Goldwave, but you never ever touch your original files on the level of sound quality. Then we go to the tab Convert. We want to convert, so we mark the convert files to this format. We pick Flac, of course. And then we have two choices here. Well, it's always 16-bit stereo, because all files we purchase are mainly in 16-bit stereo, 44.100 kilohertz, so that doesn't really matter. If you have different file types, then, well, you might have a bit of a problem here. You might do it in 2 times. The big choice here is, well, it's not really a big choice for me, it's a simple choice, but for you maybe not. There are 2 options, maximum compression or high compression. What's the difference? First of all, it's a lossless audio format, so there is no change in audio quality whatever you pick from the compression rate, because that's typical on lossless compression. The bits before compression and after compression or after deep compression are identical, which is not the case in lossy, because what you had before and after is not the same in lossy, but it is in lossless. The difference lies in the file size you will get. With a maximum compression, you will get the smallest file possible, and with the high compression, you get a normal file size compression. The difference lies in the time it takes to generate a file. So maximum compression will take a longer time to create a file, but will have the smallest file. High compression will have a fast compression time, but will result in a larger file. So at the level of decompression, so loading it in the deck, there is no difference, because it's typical on audio compression that the compressing it will take time, decompression will take the minimum of time always, because that's the propriety of a compression type. So because I want to save disk space, because on 10 or 20,000 files it will matter, even it's 2 or 3% it will matter, and we always have a shortage of disk, so best choose maximum compression. Remember that for like for me, my music file, collection, like 17,000 files, it takes 3, 4, 5 days to convert them, depending on the speed of your machine and disk. 24 hours 7, of course. So here in destination, you have 2 choices. The choice I wouldn't pick, but it depends on what you want to do, is to store all files in this folder. So you can say that you have another folder, root folder, where all the Flac files will get into, and not into your original folder. You, of course, have to mark the preserve subfolder structure, so all your 3 of your folders will be kept like the original one. Otherwise, all your files get dumped into one folder, and that's not the intention. Because you're going to have a lot of work afterwards to back manage them. Why you want to do that, I have no clue. Store them in a separate folder, maybe for reasons of disk space, or getting it on a second disk or whatever. I think it's easier to store them all in the original folders if you have enough disk space. Remember, it's lossless format, so every file takes about 40 megabytes. I have a collection of 500 or 600 gigabytes, so remember, it will take twice the space at least to get things converted. So that could be a reason to put it in another folder. Another reason I want to save them in the same folder is because in my folders I buy like once or twice a month music from Beatport. I always keep my receipts, so in case I get a checkup from the copyright company when I'm playing, I can instantly show them the receipt of that specific track I'm playing right now, just by opening the folder of in Traktor from that music file. So if I'm gonna save them to another folder, those files will be missing and you will need to copy them manually over to the other folder. So we're not gonna do that, and we're gonna store them in the original folder. In information, you want to retain the current text information. That's about the tagging. So it will move the tagging also, but only a bit the standardized tagging. So everything that's a bit special will not be copied to the new file tagging. One of those things is a rating. There are different ways of rating the file text, and you will lose that, but there is a solution for that, will I show you later. Okay, we're gonna retain the tagging, and now we're gonna start it. It minimizes itself. I will open it back again, and you see it's running now. I will be converting all files. I'm gonna pause this for a minute or so until it's done, and then I'll be back to you. Okay, we're back, and as you can see, it's done. We converted 7 files. There are no errors. If there are any errors, it will give it here with the name of the file, so you can check what's going on. It's done, so we can close Goldwave. Right now, I will show you in the folder structure that the files have been converted. As you can see, there are 2 files of each track right now, with the extension Flac and the extension WMA. If you don't see those extensions, that's by default you don't see them, so you need to turn on an option. It's in Dutch here, but it's image or view, sorry, in English, and you have to turn on file extensions, which is here. As you can see, when I click it, the file extensions disappear and appear. Make sure you see them, because we need to be sure for some things later on. So now comes the scary part. I hope you have backups, because this is really scary. Now we're gonna search for all WMA files by pressing here in the search bar asterisk or star.wma, and then it will search in all subfolders all the WMA files. You press Ctrl A for selecting all, and you press the delete button, and this is the scary part. Okay, I'm just for the demonstration purposes, I'm gonna leave one file. No, I'm gonna delete it and put it later on back from my recycle bin. Delete them all. Okay, they're all gone now. When I search again, to make sure they are gone, you see there are no more left. Okay, this is that. So what are we gonna do now? We're gonna open up Traktor. And one of the problems we're going to have in Traktor right now is that all files are missing. You don't see that right away, so we have our files here. We're going to select one and drop it there. And you see file cannot be played because it's missing. There's an obvious reason for that. If you go into Edit and check the extension over here, you see it's still pointing to the WMA file, which is logical. How are we going to solve that? That's very easy. It's easier than I thought at the beginning. You just right click your collection and then point to check consistency. It will make an inventorization of your folders. That also can take a few minutes if you have a long list. And then you will see that tracks missing. There are 5 tracks missing. I just noticed I have more tracks on my disk. That's because for the example, so don't mind that. And then we click the button relocate over here, and it will automatically ask for a folder. Then again, you pick your root folder of your collection, and you click OK, and it will notice the difference in the extension and will reconnect them to Flac right away. I'm going to prove that to you by dropping a track into the deck, and you see it's playing. Right click on it, edit, check it, and you see the extension is Flac. So that's the part to reconnect all your files without loss of your database. So it doesn't need to regenerate the stripes or the what's the other thing that Traktor does again, the stripes, and always forget it. stripes and transients, whatever that is. So and you keep your cue points and your bit gridding, because I bit grid all my files manually, which is a very boring job, so I make sure I don't lose that. There's still another issue right now, because when we look into the files, I'm gonna try to restore one. Or maybe I'll just show it like that. When you look into the files, and I use another tool for that called MP3 tag. You can find it on the internet. It's a free tool. You can make a donation for the program, which I did because it's very good. MP3 tag. You just right click to the file or multiple files, pick MP3 tag. It's this one, and it's a DE site, I believe, not a .com, but a DE from Germany. And then you can see the tagging information and use it to tag your files, which normally should not be necessary right now. Well, there are tagging missing in it. First of all, and for me that's the important one, there are many kind of ratings used. There's rating without an extension, rating MM, there's rating WMP, apparently, which is from Windows. Flac uses the WMP rating tag, but it's not converted because it's not a standard IDV3 tagging. So that's a big problem for me, but it's still in the database of Traktor, so we're gonna solve it. Another issue I have, but most of you won't have, is that I have a separate tag for beatport track ID, and a unique number of ID from the track from beatport is stored in there, and that's lost too. So, but I also put them in the wait, I'll go back in the track number. So there's a way to copy them back, and I do this. I do this using MP3 tag. So I select all files, and I've made a small action that will copy track ID to beatport track ID. I do it that way. It will. That is a thing with my cloud synchronization, I suppose. Okay, I will not continue with that one. It's open in Traktor, that's why it failed. And as you can see now, my track ID is filled into there. If you have any other information, maybe I know some of you put a special tag to say that file is from them with their rights or special things in it, or even comments. You can regenerate them. If it's the same copy for 10,000 files, put it in there and it's in there. Okay, that's MP3 tag, but still we still have that problem of the rating and other tags. So how are we gonna solve that? That is using Traktor. You go into Traktor, you select all your files using the Ctrl-A combination, right click on it, click Edit. This can take a long time again if you have a large collection. And well, the thing you have to do here is I pick comment 2 because it's not a standard tagging. It doesn't exist in the standard tagging. I think it's a Traktor thing. And I just add a hyphen in there, or whatever character you want. So mark comment 2, put a hyphen in there and click OK. And what it's now going to do, it's going very fast because I only have 5 tracks in here. But at the status bar at the bottom, you will notice it's writing all the text to the files again. Not only the hyphen in comment 2, but also all the other text from that specific file. I'm going to show it to you to prove you I'm right. So I'm going back to my collection, opening. I hope I have many more. I will take a file that exists, played room, this one. I open MP3 tag again. Okay, first of all, now you see the rating WMP is filled in, 204. That's 4 stars. There's a bit of an issue too, that some systems use 0 to 5 and Traktor uses 0 to 255 for specifying, so, but that's another story. If we look at extended tags, you will see the non-standard tags, like the comment, the description, are back if they weren't already there. The initial key, so that's the key from beatport that comes from beatport, or your own you put into Traktor. Some other stuff, the publisher, the rating of course has recuperated, and a lot of Traktor 4 information, and I suppose that's about the cue points and beat grids and all that kind of stuff. So everything is there. Also there's not much of graphical art that has converted together with the from Goldwave. So also your graphical art is back. I'll show you another one with it, which is a better example, I suppose. Here we go. And it's really in the file. It's not in the database of Traktor. This is in the file we're looking at. A lot of converters don't convert the graphical art of the files. So we're done. That's it. No, we're not done. What you can still need to do, well, it's not necessary, but I do it anyway. That is, now that all the tagging is in the file, I'm gonna remove back the hyphen, so it's gone, and I click OK again. This again will take some time until all your files are tagging is saved, and now you're back okay to go and play out gigs and do stuff. If you have any questions, please put them below this video in YouTube, or maybe use the messenger systems of multiple social media sites I'm on. Don't forget to subscribe yourself on my YouTube channel for more music and tutorials coming up about Traktor and music. And the next one will be probably how about you tagging your mixtapes and other files, music files. So and don't forget to look at my SoundCloud. Thank you very much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed and learned something about that, and see you at the next gig. Bye.
DJ Irvin C's radio show. Looking for the perfect beat? A various mix of deep house, house, tech house, techno, and hard techno. Check out soundcloud.com/IrvinC for the track list of this show.